Hit it, Phil.
Can it be the breeze that fills the trees with rare and magic perfume? Oh, no, it isn't the breeze, it's Jackson time. La, da, da, da.
Operator, get me Lexington 71432. Hello, is this Debbie? This is Goober Hope, the Casanova of the campus. How are you fixed for thrills? Well, I'm not a med student, but I'll keep you in stitches. What? The quadrangle in 20 minutes? Fine. Stay puckered up. Bye. You're all set, Goober.
Really?
Go out and live.
Okay.
Stay tuned
right after this episode
for our discussion.
Kraft presents The Bob Hope Special, starring Jack Benny, the Osmond Brothers, Debbie Reynolds, John Wayne, and Les Brown and his band of renown. And now, here is the star of our show, Bob Hope.
Thank you very much. Good evening. This is Bob in between holidays Hope, which is all right with me because I'd rather be a tardy pumpkin than an early turkey. I want to welcome you to our second show of the season. This one is sponsored by Kraft. You all know Kraft. They started out sponsoring Bing on radio and worked their way up. Well, they really had a great relationship with Bing. Of course, he has one with everybody. He's fathered most of their customers. But we are delighted to welcome Kraft. This ham is happy to sell cheese as long as they come up with the bread. But I'm delighted to be with Kraft, though I do miss Chrysler. It's not easy driving to work in a Velveeta box. And did you like the way President Nixon nominated 2 men for the Supreme Court? I think he's sorry he didn't name a woman. For 3 weeks now, he's been getting nothing but TV dinners. He wouldn't mind them so much if only they were defrosted. Having a woman in the court is a great idea, but I pity those 8 old men all waiting to get into the bathroom. No, I think they're certainly qualified. Women have been sitting on appeal for years, and they make such interesting motions. But I'd hate to be on the way to the electric chair trying to get a reprieve from Martha Mitchell. By the time you got her off the phone, you'd really have perma-pressed pants, I'll tell you. I can think of several women for the Supreme Court. How about Raquel Welch? She may not know much about law, but she does have a terrific habeas corpus. He also considered Mama Cass, but he doesn't want to pack the court. But everybody's flying around these days. Kissinger's flying to China, Kosygin to Canada, Cuba, Brezhnev to France, Agnew to Greece, Reagan to the Far East, Tito to Washington, Lindsay flying west, Jordy flying east. If they'd all been hijacked, we'd have had a summit conference in Havana. Never before in history have so many diplomats spent so much time in so many places searching for their luggage. No, and Kosygin got a terrific reception in Canada, but he's expected to recover. And the Russians and French got along great. Whatever Brezhnev wants, Pompidou. It's tough to be stuck in a strange town. Just last week, Sam Yorty got stranded in Los Angeles. You heard about Henry Kissinger flew back to China to pick up his laundry. Spiro Agnew was surprised by his welcome in Athens. He thought the Greek soldiers were pickets from women's lib. Agnew didn't play golf over there. One thing Greece doesn't need is more ruins. That was a big birthday party for the Empire of Persia, and Agnew blew out the candles and set fire to 3 of the waiters. The Shah said to him, "I guess you've never seen this much sand." And Agnew said, "I guess you've never seen my golf game." President Nixon can't leave for China for a while. He's busy revising his Christmas gift list to members of the UN. I'm sure you've heard about our bad luck at the UN. They threw Taiwan out and kept us in. The UN building stands out like a finger in the New York skyline, and that's what it turned out to be. Can you imagine Red China finally getting into the UN? Next thing you know, Phyllis Diller will enter the Miss America contest. Nationalist China is now known as the St. Christopher of the United Nations. Everyone admired how the nationalist Chinese behaved after being expelled. Confucius say, "Not easy to keep face while losing seat." And President Nixon was really furious when he saw the big celebration after the vote. What bugged him was we paid for the paper hats. Now, President Nixon didn't mind the hand clapping and dancing, but when they sacrificed a goat in the aisle, that was too much. Even Mayor Lindsay was pretty upset. He said, "I don't care who they are. If they park their rickshaw in front of the building, we'll tow it away." About 17 of our allies went back on their word. It was the biggest double cross since someone slipped a can of U-Ban into Mrs. Olson's shopping bag. Hey, how about the Senate yesterday voting to cut off... You like it, Ed? How about the Senate voting to cut off aid to foreign countries? We can't do that, not after they've gotten used to living in the style to which we accustom them. What will these nations do? What will these nations do? They won't even be able to buy rocks to stone our embassies. And I want to tell you, the news came as a shock at the UN. A lot of people who'd voted red turned white. Now New York has a new problem. Panhandlers with diplomatic immunity. You see, the people at the UN... Of course, Greece will still get some American aid when Jackie goes shopping. I hope you girls watching enjoy our show tonight. I'm probably the first man you've seen on TV all weekend who wasn't wearing shoulder pads and a helmet. I watched so much football last weekend, I almost wore out my end zone. And my eyeballs are in a huddle. One guy I know had his wife leave him on Friday, and he didn't find out till Tuesday. And it was only luck how he found out. He ran out of beer. Now, you show me a man who doesn't watch football on Sunday, and I'll show you a man who has a wife who could play tackle on any team in the country. But I love football, I do. Last weekend, I watched the Colts, the Bears, the Dolphins, the Rams, the Eagles, the Broncos, and the Lions. It was not only fun, the plant in my living room grew 4 feet. I said to my wife, "Look at Boozer run." She said, "Isn't it a little early for Dean to be on?" Pro football is leading the ratings, although last Monday night's football broadcast didn't get any Nielsen rating at all. Nielsen forgot to take it. He was busy watching the game. But they're trying everything to compete with the games. Helena Rubinstein even came out with a perfume that smells exactly like the L.A. Rams locker room. It's called An Evening with Merlin Olsen. It's getting so women walk through the living room with nothing on but a sheer black negligee, and men won't notice her unless she has a number on her back. It's getting out of hand. A woman in Green Bay asked her husband to pass the sugar, and he punted it 30 yards. Those pro football players are really tough. I mean, they try with every bone that used to be in their body. That's why they pat each other on the fanny so much. It's the only spot that doesn't have a broken bone in it. What a rough game it is. The Detroit team was using real lions, and it was 2 weeks before anyone noticed. And Joe Namath would only weigh 98 pounds if the swelling went down. I know how it feels. I was in vaudeville. Now, it's easy to see how they get hurt. I saw one guy with 4 great big 300-pounders on top of him. They weren't tackling him. They were just trying to hold him down so the coach could give him his medicine. Anyway, we watched the Rams last week, and they all had gauze bandages on them. My wife said, this must be a new team. None of the players are unwrapped yet.
Warning, this is an X-rated sketch. All viewers who would be easily shocked by a frank depiction of the depraved behavior of the jazz-mad children of the 1920s are hereby cautioned to tune out.
Set it right down here, honey. Here's your tip.
Just one?
Don't be greedy. These lips have to last me the whole semester. I'm just a crazy, carousing, wild college kid who thinks of nothing but, I don't know. Gee, I love this part. Well, I might as well start packing. Or unpacking. I don't know which one I like better. All my life, women have found me irresistible. I've broken up more homes than the freeway. I hear this college is full of beautiful girls, so I'm going to have to pace myself. I just hope my roommate can handle the overflow. Yeah, I sure hope he's charming and witty, sophisticated. A real man about town. That's what I want for a roommate.
Howdy. They told me my stall was in here.
I thought they canceled Hee-Haw.
Neighborly of you to make me feel at home like that. My name's Goober. I just flew in from Calabasas.
He must have caught the 5 o'clock chicken. Hey, what's this?
Oh, I'm a croupier in the barnyard.
No. I'm afraid we're roommates.
Really? I never roomed with anybody before, except for that first week at the hospital with my mother. I'm an only child, you know.
I'm not surprised. Look, Goober, I don't know what you came to college for, but I'm here for fun, for girls. You know, Bodie-O-Do, see?
Girls?
Yeah. You know, they're the ones with the lumpy sweaters. Don't you know anything about sex?
I sure do. That's when the hen house suddenly gets quiet.
Listen, what's the furthest you ever gone with a girl?
Oh, about 8 miles. I have a bad transmission.
Have you ever had anything real sexy happen to you?
Yeah, once. I was milking the cow and my fielder's mitt fell off.
Well, that's nothing.
Maybe nothing to you, but the cow never forgot.
Hey, listen. Just coming here to school, a girl got on at Scranton, see? I invited her into the smoking car, had 2 cigarettes with her, put my arm around her, and I want to tell you something. She went all the way.
Holy mackerel. To Buffalo?
Yeah, Buffalo.
Boy, I wish I knew all about women.
I'll teach you. Listen, women are like a fine violin. You got to know how to play them.
And you're going to teach me? What is the first thing you do when you go out with a girl?
Well, I park in a dark spot.
Uh-huh.
Then I... Come here.
Oh, gosh, you're kidding.
Really? And then I...
No. Try this side. That one's barbecued.
I think you're ready.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you a date.
With a girl?
You got to start somewhere. I'll check my little black book. Here's one. Here's one as a real peach. 362436.
What's the area code?
I'm going to tell her I'm you.
Really?
Yeah. Operator, get me Lexington 71432. Hello, is this Debbie? This is Goober Hope, the Casanova of the campus. How are you fixed for thrills? Well, I'm not a med student, but I'll keep you in stitches. What? The quadrangle in 20 minutes? Fine. Stay puckered up. Bye. You're all set, Goober.
Really?
Go out and live.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm getting my fielder's mitt.
Oh, hi, Goober.
How'd you know it was me?
You look like a goober. Here, sit down. Well, I'm cold.
Yeah, it does get nippy this time of year.
Why don't you put your arm around me?
I'd be silly. My arm will get cold.
Say, do you come from the farm?
How do you know?
Well, you walk like a man who's not sure of his footing. And these hands, they're big and strong. They look like the hands of a man who gets what he wants. Oh, say, you're a fast worker.
Yeah, and that's without my fielder's mitt.
Take my lips.
Huh?
Take my lips.
Why, are you through with them? Oh, I wish I hadn't done that.
Why?
Now I'll have to marry you.
You are, without a doubt, the most asinine, inept, insensitive clod I have ever met.
Gee, you're not only pretty, you're smart.
Hey, you're back, huh? How'd you make out?
Oh, I can't tell you now. I'm pooped.
That good, huh?
Oh, what a night. Hope she still respects me.
I don't know about her. You went up 10 points with me.
I'm plumb tuckered out. I'm going to turn in.
Well, aren't you going to take off your clothes?
No, I don't want to hold up the sketch. Good night.
I thought he'd never fall asleep. Operator, get me Lexington 7142. Debbie, this is Goober. I gotta see you again. Your kiss is still burning my lips. Nobody kisses like you do.
Hey, who you talking to?
The football coach.
I thought he walked kind of funny.
Listen, Debbie, I can't sleep, I can't eat. My heart is pounding. My knees turn to water.
Hey, who you talking to now?
My draft board, and shut up. Look at Debbie, if you don't see me, I'm gonna kill myself. What do you mean you thought I already was dead? The quadrangle in 20 minutes? Debbie, you're the cat's meow. You're Debbie, right?
Where's Goober?
He had to go back to the farm. The cow was expecting.
Expecting what?
Him. She won't let no one else touch her.
Oh, I know just how she feels.
That's why he sent me here, to break it to you.
Who are you?
I'm Speedy Kabelski. Better known on the campus as the Love Machine.
Love machine? Well, you look like you're short a few parts.
We're wasting time. How about a kiss?
But I'm not that kind of a girl.
Well, you don't have to treat me any different than you did him.
But I miss Goober. I can't go on without him.
Come on.
Really? What kind of a girl do you think I am?
Whatever kind, I'll have to live with it.
Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. Gosh, I feel so left out. I don't even have my fielder's mitt.
Hey, Goober, we were just talking about you.
Never mind that. What are you doing fooling with my girl?
I'm trying to get her to Buffalo. Besides, who says she's your girl? She fell for me.
Oh, bourgeois.
Bourgeois?
I'm the one she's crazy about.
Now, wait a minute. Now, hold it, fellas. Let's settle this fairly. You can both kiss me, and then I'll decide.
All right.
No, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. One at a time. You're so violent. You're first. Mm-hmm.
Well,
What do you think?
I think I'll buy an electric blanket.
How do you like that? I'll never talk to another girl as long as I live.
me neither.
Pardon me. Can you direct me to the girls' dormitory?
Well, of course. It's that building right over there.
Thank you.
Hey,
What?
you steered her wrong. That's the men's dormitory.
Yeah, how about that?
One of the big hits of the new TV season is All in the Family. This wonderful show has aimed their satiric shafts at bigotry and racism and turn on the whole nation. They're doing what comedy is supposed to do, make people laugh at themselves. Our network, and I say this with a note of pride, quickly recognized the trend as soon as All in the Family was #1 for 6 weeks. Fearlessly, they switched the idea and rushed into production with the program you're about to see. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with pleasure that we present John Wayne in All in the West.
Did you have a nice day, Archie?
You know, Edith, you are a dingbat. Can't you see this thing? It ain't no hat pin.
Well, I was wondering about that. It looks like an arrow.
You are a regular Mrs. Einstein. Of course it's an arrow. Those dirty redskins, they think they own this country.
Archie, after all, they were here first. That's history.
That's baloney. Any school kid will tell you that this country was discovered by that Italian meatball, Columbus.
You take things too serious, Archie. You should relax more.
Relax, she says. When you're surrounded by creeps, it used to be a decent place to live, and then came the sheep herders and the homesteaders and the farmers and the cowboys and the bankers and the ranchers and the school marms and the preachers.
But Archie, how can you stay mad at everybody?
Easy, I wear cactus shorts. This town ain't big enough for me and all them crummy minorities.
Archie, but America is the melting pot.
Yeah, and I'm against pot, too.
Come on, dinner's ready. Hearty appetite, Archie.
Edith, what is this?
Oh, well, that's Hungarian goulash and kosher pickles and Polish sausage.
I just lost my appetite. What are you running around here, Edith? The commissary for the United Nations?
Archie, what's the matter with you?
Edith, I'm just trying to keep this country great for the great people in it. Me and you and my son.
I know. That boy is the apple of your eye, Archie, and he's coming home from school today.
Yeah, I can hardly wait to see my boy.
Brotherhood, love.
Who are you?
I'm Junior.
Well, who's senior? Liberace? Where'd you come from? Let's make a deal?
That's our son, Archie.
You want the neighbors to hear? He looks like a poster for pollution.
Please, Daddy, don't judge anyone by such superficialities as hair. Look for the man underneath.
They can do that at the autopsy.
Please, Archie, he's still our son. Our own flesh and blood.
Yours. There's no Polish blood in my family.
That's not fair. Poland has given the world some great people.
Oh, yeah? Name one.
Pulaski, Pilsudski, and Paderewski.
Big deal. 3 ball players.
Stop picking on him, Archie. Sonny, why don't you go wash up?
Are you kidding him, boys? That's against his religion.
You know, Dad, you're so prejudiced you can't see.
Oh, maybe, but I can still smell.
You know what you are? You're a bigot.
Well, thank you, son. I just try to do the best I can.
Mom, Dad, I have great news for you. I met a wonderful girl, and we're going to get married.
Oh, isn't that marvelous, Archie? Our Sonny boy has found happiness with someone of the opposite sex.
And don't think that ain't a relief.
Hey, she's just outside. I'll bring her in.
Oh, so good.
Come in, baby.
Injuns! It's a raid! Hide the women and children! The wagons! Form a circle! Now hold it right there or I'll tickle your teepee with buckshot.
Oh, hush up. Now, give me that gun.
It's my fault. I should never have taken her to see the Battle of the Alamo.
Losing one picture, and that's all they remember. You're making a mistake with this bargain basement Pocahontas. I know pushy redskins when I see them. And one thing you can say about your father, I got something up here.
Yeah, you're the only hard hat I know with a soft center.
I find your father quite amusing. His stereotypical ethnics are anachronistically pithy.
Hear that, Junior? She can't even talk English. Let's face it, Junior, them Indians are basically not too smart. They just ain't got it up here.
Oh, nonsense. Sweet running water's a Phi Beta Kappa.
That's the worst kind, a Greek Indian. I don't care how smart. Son, I forbid you to marry this Indian.
Oh, I expected that. You resent my being on the side of the poor and less fortunate.
Oh, of course not. I'm gonna help you.
Oh, you are? How?
Gonna cut off your allowance.
We don't need money. We can live in a teepee.
Well, you sure got the pointed head for it.
Man, if my... Look, Dad, I don't care what you say. I love her and I'm gonna marry her.
Now, hold on, Junior. You can't rush into a thing like marriage. I waited a long time before I put my brand on your maw.
Some brand, Dodge City, love it or leave it.
This is Harry Kisser. He is the president's most trusted advisor, which explains a lot. He's a super diplomat, sly, guileful, superb in the game of international politics. Let's follow him on his recent mission to the mysterious Orient and watch him as he plies his trade. This is the Comrade Hilton in Peking. Rates are high, especially now at the height of the spy season.
Secret Agent 42.
Da?
Right this way, sir. Your room is ready now, Mr. Kisser.
Yeah, but what happened here?
Oh, he missed 1 o'clock checkout time.
Gee, the Holiday Inns certainly have a lot to learn.
Management, the Comrade Hilton, very happy to see President Nixon's kisser here. Oh, excuse me, please. How come they send you?
Well, Martha Mitchell had a cold.
Here, let me take your briefcase.
Yeah, wait. Hold it. I've already had my walk.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, no sea chain.
Yeah, well, that's for security. You see, I must never let this case out of my sight. If I lost it, it would mean disaster.
Oh, really? What is in it?
My return ticket home.
You'll be very comfortable here.
Really?
It's a complete privacy, top security. This is the finest hotel in the world, built by people's Chinese workers.
Some of them must still be in there working.
All right.
All right. I thought I saw a head in my medicine chest. Well, I gotta get some more sleep. I look terrible. Where'd he go? He must have been recalled by Fuller Brush. Hey, look. My mission here is a secret, an absolute secret.
Oh, don't worry. If we find out, we tell you.
Hello? Who? J. Edgar Poo Ying? Oh, I'm sorry. There's nobody here by that name. No, I'm...
Friday, 主集展王 Phyllis Diller.
Look, the picture's busy. Why don't you try the medicine chest? Who's there?
The porter.
Oh, it's about time. Hey, wait a minute. First you were the receptionist, then you were the manager, now you're the porter.
Oh, also the waiter. You like to order from room service? We got the groovy wonton soup.
No, thanks. I'd just sooner noodle around.
Very funny line, you crazy kid. If you need anything come like loud, you just call the maid.
No, thank you. I can unpack for myself. Boy, this airplane luggage is really great, you know? Boy. I know I really needed laundry done, but I didn't think it could walk by itself. Maybe it's mine. It's mine. Jill St. John's phone number. I can't let them get a hold of that. Even the number's delicious. Boy, this place is swarming with spies, and they'll stop at nothing to find out what my instructions are. This hotel will never get the honeymoon crowd, I want to tell you that. Who are you?
I am your maid.
Well, if you're really a hotel maid, how come you walked in on a man fully dressed? Must be a double agent. She looks good from both sides.
Our management has instructed me to gratify your every wish before you think of it.
Too late, I'm already thinking of it.
Why you don't come over here and sit down with me?
Oh, no. That's how we lost North Korea. This couch comes to you live from Peking.
Please sit down.
Yeah. I'll sit down, but no hanky-panky. I know these seats are going to the UN, but what's the hurry?
Gee, I had all girls in Washington flip their wonton over you. Now I see you. I know why. You are a very handsome man.
She can't be a spy. She's too honest.
You are married?
Well, funny, I can't remember.
This very important mission. Why President send you?
Well, David Eisenhower couldn't get his anchor up.
You must be very big expert on China.
Oh, yes, I majored in ping pong. You're not fooling me. I know how you Oriental spies work.
You do?
Yes, you take a warm, friendly, brilliant diplomat like me and feed him a slinky evening gown with slit skirts, soft skin, rich, full lips. Well, it won't work.
It won't?
No, but you owe it to your country to try.
Tell me about yourself. When will the president leave Washington and how will he travel? What plans have you made for his safety?
It's like going on a date with Rona Barrett. Honey, you're wasting your time. My lips are sealed.
Oh.
Oh, that hot steam will do it every time. What do you want to know?
Tell me all about yourself and your wonderful country. Who is your weakest military leader?
Colonel Sanders. Everything he does is chicken.
How long will Nixon be in power?
Forever. He has to fill those vacancies on the Supreme Court.
Please speak into lampshade, huh?
Yeah, okay. Hey, wait a minute. What label am I recording for here? Hey, what is this? Where does this go? Oh, pardon me. Everywhere you go, Alan Funt. Attention all spies, this is Harry Kisser signing off. So long, Dragon Lady, it's been kicks.
Oh, where are you going?
I'm going back to America and Mom's apple pie.
Is it really that good?
No, but at least nobody's watching when you throw it in the garbage can. If you were smart, you'd forget all this spy nonsense and come too. With your looks and personality, you could be another Debbie Reynolds. Anybody that wants to come along, just follow me. Here are the Osmond brothers and their new protege.
I want a good old-fashioned girl. Girl, to be all mine. I want a girl just like the girl that married dear old Dad. She was a pearl. That daddy ever had a good old-fashioned girl with a heart so true, but it loves nobody else but you. I want a girl just like the girl that married dear old Dad.
Les, my thanks to Debbie, John Wayne, Jack Benny, the Osmonds, and to all of you who joined us tonight. We hope you had a few kicks, and we hope you'll join us next month for a really big shoot. We'll see you, Illini, at the Assembly Hall at Champaign when we do our show for the Illinois University on the 20th. We hope all of you have a lovely Turkey Day, and when that envelope comes with the Christmas seals, dig deep. It's your gift of life and breath. Good night.
Well, hello again. This is Buck Benny speaking. I am joined by John Henderson. Hey, John, from This Day in Jack Benny. Great podcast. Get out there and listen to it. Also, my new Breaking Benny podcast. Find that out there and listen to that too. We also have our friend Terry Phillips. Hey, Terry. And it's not this day in air theater or something. Confusing everything. Terry, it is Imagine Air Theater. And there are, how many shows now are there that you've made over time? Maybe 15?
I think there are 13.
13? Okay.
I think
I knew it was
right.
somewhere in there. So I was pretty close. Yeah. And they're all
That's a Taylor Swift era's worth. So.
There you go. and, and he needs to redo them, and then we could have Terry's version of these. But we already sort of had Terry's. It's okay. Speaking of Taylor's version of her songs and things, a little plug for my friend John Fogerty, who is from Creedence Clearwater Revival. He is releasing a new album, I think, in a couple of weeks. By the time this comes out, the album's probably out. And it's he really fought his people. I saw an interview with him. He really fought his people to get the songs called Taylor's Version, because he just thought it'd be funny to call it Taylor's Version, even though it's his songs. And they said, no, we can't call them Taylor's Versions. They would not give into it. So they're called John's Versions. And so they're Creedence songs where, again, somebody has bought the rights and things. They tied it up, and so he doesn't get any money from those songs anymore. So he's recording his versions that are trying to sound as much like the original as possible. So maybe you'll listen to that instead of the original, and he'll actually get some money out of it, which would be good. He's the performer and the writer and so forth. But I was amazed at how an 80-plus-year-old man can sound like his 30-year-old version of himself pretty effectively. I mean, you certainly can tell there's a difference, but it's closer than I ever thought he could get. And of course, they're trying to, just like her versions of her songs, they're trying to make it exact so that even the guitar solos are the same and everything's the same, but newly performed. And the fact that they could pull that off today, I was amazed at. So the ones they've released, like, at this point, there are probably 5 or 6 of the tracks that have been released, and I've listened to them. And probably out of the 6, let's say 4 of them sound so close that maybe I wouldn't notice if they came on the radio, which version I was hearing. And the other 2 are noticeably a little different, but that's okay.
When I was a teenager just getting into oldies,
yes,
I would go to the CD store and I would buy a CD, and it would say, this song that I've heard on the radio by the artist. I'm like, oh, great. This is going to be a great CD.
Yes.
I'd buy it. I'd put it in. It would sound off. It was just off. And I read the fine print, and it said re-recorded in 1996 or whatever.
Yes.
Yes. They tricked me.
They tricked you. Yep. Or the big thing back in the day was you buy a greatest hits of the 1970s album, and they'd have and you go, oh, these great songs in there.
Yeah.
And then you read underneath that they were performed by the all-star band somebody or something. So not the original artist, nothing's the same, not even the same vocalist, and yet they'd make your money off of you. That was great. And you'd wonder, oh, I was wondering why I got this for $2.99. It's like, you get what you pay for. So yeah, that's wow. Anyway, we also have our friend Kathy Fuller-Seeley with us. Hey, Kathy, good to see you with her new book out.
And speaking of you get what you pay for. So.
Yes, and so this is the hardback version, or is the paperback?
I had the paperback. I had the paperback experience.
If you want Mary's picture completely,
you want Mary's picture
uninjured, then go to get the hardback. If you
pay for the hardback.
If you're not a big Mary fan and you're okay having a big thing right over her face.
There you go. Experience the spring of 1933 with Jack and Mary. They really dived into film parodies during this time period, and some fabulous ones like his version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, his version of I'm a Fugitive from a Chain Gang, where all the chain gang members dance and sing and don't want to be released, and one very bizarre one from All Quiet on the Western Front that you go, what was Harry Conn smoking? It is truly so. There you have fun things ahead. So
yes. And they do King Kong as well.
And King Kong.
So after you read about the King Kong one, then you go and listen to Bob Newhart's tale of the security guard, brand new security guard working in the building when King Kong comes and scales it that night. And that's one of his best ever, I think, performances on one of his records. It's out there multiple times. Anyway, and we already introduced her. Did I introduce John? Yeah, I did. I think we introduced everybody. So now we can go and do this.
Oh no, we were just trying to kill time so that we wouldn't have to introduce Bob Hope. So that's
Well, now our special this week is very special. It's Bob Hope, and it has Jack Benny on it, which is wonderful. And Jack Benny's on like the early part of it. Thank goodness for a lot of you. So you get to experience a skit with Jack Benny and Bob Hope. Is it the best skit? No. Is it the best skit on the special? Yes, it is the best skit on the special. So I'll give it that. The rest of the special, it's if you're gonna offend someone, you might as well offend everyone. So that's sort of what this does. So, anyway, so we'll go around and chat about this. It's of everything we've ever presented, I think this is probably the most solid train wreck throughout the whole show. I mean, I thought for sure it'd be
I don't know, the Lennon sisters.
Well, the Lennon
Engelbert Humperdinck.
Yes. There was problems with them, but there weren't offensive problems. This is offensive and I don't know. I was like, okay, it can't get worse. It's got to get better in the next skit. And then the next skit is even worse and more offensive than the last skit. So I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyway, but let's, John, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I would say
it.
that the thing that stands out from this episode is how politically incorrect and like not of today this whole program is. We watch a lot of old things, right? And we can listen to a 30s old radio show or watch some old cartoons and they'll have something in there and you say, okay, well, that's of the time. But you can separate that out and put that in its own box and enjoy the rest. But when you remove the bones from this, there's no meat left. That's the problem.
That's the problem. Yeah.
It's gristle.
I will say, the monologue I feel like was maybe one of the strongest part. It went on forever. It was like 10 minutes or more, but his delivery was quite good.
I wish it would have gone on for like 45 minutes. I would have been a better special. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Like I liked his opening where he talked about his sponsor, and the fact that he mentioned his old sponsor is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So he's doing Kraft instead of some car company. He says, oh, you can't drive Velveeta to work or whatever. And then he gets into some political stuff, which was interesting from a historical standpoint. But then you start to get some stereotypes in there with Nixon going to China and all that kind of thing. The Jack Benny segment, fortunately, was only sexist and not racist, so that's good. I felt it was a little inappropriate and not funny.
Which is
like
to me, when you watch the Jack Benny thing, the most offensive thing is to not be funny. It's supposed to be funny, and that's
usually when you've got a Jack Benny thing, at least maybe some of his delivery is funny, and I feel like this was just a dud, like just a miss all around. And then they get into the All in the Family sketch, which again historically is really interesting, and to have them do the John Wayne spin on it is an interesting thing. So I would say this whole program. Oh, and I forgot. I nudged my wife awake when they did the Nixon China sketch at the end, and I was like, look who's on the screen. That's Debbie Reynolds. And she was half asleep. She didn't quite get it. So I explained it to her in the morning and she was just like, wait, what? That was Debbie Reynolds? So yeah. Yeah, unbelievable. So yeah, I don't know. I would say this is an interesting historical artifact to
Artifact.
yeah, to peruse, but not necessarily an entertaining, fun family time.
Okay, fair enough. Terry, completely different take. Terry loved this, thought it was the best special he'd ever seen.
You took away my line. I love this. I thought it was one of the best things I've ever seen. This is not 1971. We are not in 1971 today. And I would argue that no matter what you have seen or heard 50 plus years later, you're going to find something anachronistic about it. I mean, that's true. We all love Jack Benny. There are anachronisms in every single one of the Jack Benny radio and television programs we have seen. And sometimes they are more off-putting than others. It depends on the listener, not just the performer. Or I mean, even at the time, look, I lived through this era. I was very aware of what was happening in 1971. I was holding my breath, wondering whether I was going to get sent to Vietnam.
Yeah.
And so all of the references here were timely and for the time. They were. It wasn't just. This was not just an artifact. This was who we were then, and I would argue who we still are as a society, which is to say, not united, not homogenistic for sure.
Right.
And or not homogenous is what I meant. And so when John Wayne is doing the All in the Family stuff, All in the West. One of the things I liked about that sketch was that they were mocking their own network. All in the Family was on CBS, and they finally got around. They immediately realized after All in the Family became a hit that NBC needed to do a controversial show too. So they were mocking themselves. This wasn't just them saying, "Oh, how wonderful it is that we can tell what we would call today politically incorrect humor." They were being self-deprecating. And that's one of my favorite forms of comedy. I think it is always better to make yourself the butt of a joke than somebody else. And that's exactly what they were doing here. To get to the meat of it, I am of the opinion that if something makes you laugh, it doesn't matter whether nothing matters. If it makes you laugh, it's funny. I try to watch a lot of new comics today. And some of the material is and would be considered by many people offensive. But if it makes you laugh, how bad is that? I'm not trying to make a case for offending people. I think if you don't like something, if it bothers you, you can look at it two ways. You can either say, I'm not going to watch this anymore. It's upsetting. Or you can maybe learn something from it, whether it's as an academic or a social critic or just a regular person. So I will say that even though there's no doubt that a lot of this stuff was not, would never get on television today, if it's funny, it's funny. And so, I can go through this chapter and verse and tell you specifically what made me laugh. But overall, I found this to be one of the best things we have shown to our audience.
Excellent. Well, see,
Well,
I'm
I appreciate
I'm
that.
glad we're doing this
Totally.
now as an after show instead of before, because it's why John and I were able to kind of unleash on it more than we would if this were an intro, because I don't want to bias people in things before they see it. Hopefully, those who are stuck around and are with us have seen it, and then they can decide for themselves where they're at with this. If they liked it, that's fantastic, and I hope they really enjoyed it. For me, I guess, and it could be the mood. You never know the mood you're in when you're watching this, and everything else can affect it. But I thought that the West piece, I thought it was interesting to take John Wayne and have him be like the Archer Bunker type character, and do Archie's show with a Western twist on it or whatever. I thought that was interesting, and I was interested to see where they would go with it. The problem with it is it, unlike the true All in the Family, okay, All in the Family, when I watch it, I may get offended at things that Archie does from time to time or whatever, but they're always, that's part of the joke, is that he's so far off in his thinking that Meathead has to bring him around, or his daughter does, or Edith does. And that's part of his learning process, our learning process as a country, as to what is okay, what's not okay. It gave us a chance to kind of, in real time, experience what was going on in the country, and kind of what our thoughts were on it, and they helped shape those thoughts. This, I felt like, at least large chunks of it, missed, and would be just mean spirited in a way that Archie's show isn't. And so, if it truly was uh, a piece, if it truly nailed Archie's show, then it would have been, to me, it would have worked well. I guess part of it is the Meathead character in this just didn't take himself seriously. No one took him seriously, and so it uh, wasn't that chess match that you get in Archie's All in the Family. It was one sided. It was very much attack, 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 and that doesn't work. What works is attack, counterattack,
How do
counterattack.
you attack John Wayne?
Yeah.
Interestingly, researchers found out once All in the Family came out, and it was very controversial but very popular. But sociologists interviewing viewers found that 40% of the TV audience thought Archie Bunker was a hero. They didn't see, so there were two very different ways of responding to the show. Either you're on the Meathead camp or you're the Archie camp. And what I found fascinating about this John Wayne character is he's that Archie is the hero camp. And indeed, even though we've got Bob Hope, who we're supposed to be rooting for, and he's Bob Hope, but he's an idiot, and so I thought it was a very interesting parody, but through a conservative, if you will, lens that said you can't make, so that John Wayne will stand up against all this guff, and that this whole show, no young person under 40 would have been watching this show. This show was very much made for its audience. Either you loved Bob Hope or you didn't watch. And for those who loved Bob Hope and his version of The Greatest Generation and his sort of Republican 1971 Republican conservative viewpoint, this was right on. This was speaking truth to Nick. This was all about, you may be making fun of politics, but we support what's going on. And that fascinates me, as I said, because in 1 week, I get to cover the era of relevancy in 1970s TV. I always just focus on the Norman Lear shows. And it's fascinating to know that, because the networks always said, oh, we got to be fair and balanced. And if we've got this one stuff, we'll have these other things. And scholars have only looked over at the, as they said, the All in the Family, the Norman Lear shows. And they haven't looked at what the network considered balancing it, these shows for a conservative audience that told their worldview.
I'd like to ask you all a question. I love reading credits. Did you happen to know who two of the writers were for this episode?
I couldn't stand that.
Mel Tolkien and Mort Lockman, both of whom wrote for All in the Family.
Oh, wow.
So they worked very hard to make this authentic, even though it didn't land for you, Daryl. I understand that. I'm John. I'm sure it didn't land for you. And don't get me wrong. I wasn't sympathetic to the the Archie Bunker point of view or the John Wayne or Bob Hope point of view. But I think as a craft of comedy, I thought they nailed it. Was it perfect? No, of course not. But I thought what they were going for, and there's some other specific things I'd like to talk about besides the politics of it. But I think they did what they set out to do. If that wasn't for the whole audience, yeah, okay. But Kathy, I think you're exactly right. I think the whole audience of this show probably left this.
Yeah. Well, they weren't trying to recreate an episode of All in the Family. They were spoofing All of the Family.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. They're spoofing it, but as I said, in a way that a fair chunk of the All in the Family audience saw it, as in conservative values carry the day. And even though these little, he gets pinged at the end, he really doesn't learn anything. And so because it's a sitcom, Archie Bunker gets to come back and be prejudiced against something else the next week. And he gets pinged and pinged and pinged. But he doesn't change because it's a sitcom, and that's how they can keep it going. So either you could say that's the strength of his values, or you say, oh my God, it's a sitcom and we can appreciate the pings every week. And those things end up, that's a sitcom way. It stays in stasis, unlike a drama or today's comedies, nothing ever changes. So
it's so hard to judge, especially when somebody is sort of pushing the envelope and with these controversial subjects. I remember we were watching a Jiminy Glick in the early 2000s, and Jiminy comes out with a rickshaw, and he's doing a Chinese voice, and my brother and I thought it was hilarious because that is something that no one would do these days, and this character is so out of touch, and everyone's getting so offended that it was very, very funny, right? But somebody else could watch that same thing and they could take it straightforward. And so it's hard to know without being there in that time and sort of like knowing what people who are watching it are thinking to be able to judge, what's going on.
You're absolutely right. I mean, if you study something called reception studies, we go, there's always a range that no matter how Norman Lear tried to make All in the Family, teaching us about what I want to say, acceptance and sort of liberal values, he could not control the fact that some people would go, hey, Archie is right, and he's going to prevail. There's always going to be a range of interpreting everything. And we usually either focus on what you agree with, and then you assume everybody agrees with you. And it's really interesting to try and interview and do ethnography and surveys and to try and or figure out what could be the different positions of understanding something. So sorry to get academic on you, but
no, it's fine. Well, and in my head, I was thinking, I don't know. I always think about what could be, and I was like, oh, if they had Rob Reiner on here in the skit against John Wayne, that would have been really interesting.
Wow.
But they didn't have anybody with the gravitas of Meathead to do that, right? And so
he wouldn't be on a Bob Hope special anyway.
Correct.
So.
And I think the one thing we need to look at too is fans of Bob Hope may love this. Fans of John Wayne may love this. I mean, there's a whole bunch.
And the fans of Debbie Reynolds will love this.
And there's people that today will watch this and go, hey, that's right on. We should be able to have things like this. People are way too sensitive. There's way too many snowflakes out there. And we know how John and I are both snowflakes, so it is what it is.
Well, you live in the pale north, so.
Yeah. Well, I do feel like there is something to like the more familiar you are with the sort of historical context and even pop culture references and things like that. Like there are a lot of things that I watch, like I mentioned, like old cartoons and old movies and things like that, where somebody else walks in off the street who's never watched anything before the year 2000, and they see this and they're like, how can you watch this? Like, this is horrible, and things like that. And it's like, well, yeah, like that is a layer and a factor, but I can see past that. And a lot of those things aren't actually, racism, but they're references to things that maybe are like, it's like third generation race. It's references to things. So you're actually not making fun of the culture or whatever, but you're making fun of this actor who, has this. And unless you understand all of this stuff, you're not going to get it. And so maybe that's where I'm coming at, where I'm just in the sort of like surface level, and I can't appreciate. I've never watched All in the Family. I've only seen a couple clips, and I can't appreciate some of these, things going on.
Can I change the subject for a second to something I think we all agree on, and that's the meagerness of the Benny Hope skit that opens this. But if Jack's writers had come on, wouldn't it have been fun? What I think they were trying to do is to have Jack play Bob and Bob play Jack.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
And I wish, but Jack's getting old and tired. But if he'd had if he'd been able to do it and come on in vintage, blah, 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 bing, 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 joke, 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 doop, 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 the skit would have worked. So.
Kathy, I want to do a callback to an episode that I don't know if our viewers or listeners are watching these shows in order, but just prior to this, we all talked about a special, a comedy special about radio comedians.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was George Burns in that who contrasted Jack Benny's style of comedy, slow, deliberate, with, and I don't remember if he named him, but he certainly could have named Bob Hope as joke, 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 joke. And that sketch was a perfect example of that. Their style couldn't be more evident, the differences in their style, just based on what you said.
Yes. No, agreed. And I think it's always, I hate saying always, it's often easier for someone that has the style of Bob Hope or Robin Williams, a fast delivery style, to slow things down if they need to. If somebody like Jack Benny could speed things up, they probably would more often than they do. And so it's really hard for, I think, somebody who's got a slow, deliberate style to speed up and become this other rat-a-tat style. I think is a lot harder to emulate if that's not your normal way of presentation.
Although early in his career, Benny was a lot faster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think this is just a function of age. Daryl, I think that he adopted what you said. He adopted this character. It worked for him, and he just stuck with it.
Yeah.
And that's why, Kathy, I love your observation that they switched roles. It was great.
Yeah. It just it wasn't completely successful of an experiment, but knowing that, I think you get a better respect of what they're doing. Yeah. And they just
in
both
my
seemed
opinion,
off.
I agree.
But they both seemed off because they were trying to be each other. So yeah.
I also think there's something going on which Jack Benny and Bob Hope have done a number of times in the 60s and 70s, which is sort of like the joke is they're doing something that's totally not something they would normally do, in particular with like the modern culture of the time, right? So even Bob Hope later coming out in that long wig and stuff like that, like, and they do this in another special with like the one with the Beach Boys, where it's like, like where they're obviously not cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so to pretend that they're cool when they're visibly so obviously not cool is kind of supposed to be the comedic thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it usually works.
Whereas here, maybe they're speaking to the Hope audience who were in college or high school in the 20s. And, that's because the 20s were hot to young people. I mean, the Beatles, so you think of Twiggy and the Boyfriend. And so 20s culture was hot among the young people. And yet for the Bob Hope generation, it is their past. And so it has possibilities, even if they didn't really.
And John, I think at the time, my vague recollection is that at the time, what you described is exactly what worked. that pretending to be cool when you weren't cool, or pretending to be
Yeah.
something that you're not,
Mm-hmm.
was relatively current. That style of humor. It's certainly not anymore. You're exactly right.
Right.
That would none of this entire episode would not have gotten greenlit today.
Yeah. Except for the Osmonds. And I happened to skip that. What did he do with the Osmonds? Were they
Nothing.
Were they Revolutionary War soldiers? What
No,
was...
they were like a barbershop quartet.
That's right.
Or whatever, more than a quartet. But and then Bob Hope was like there too, and like
there you okay. So he played the littlest. Yeah, the I just couldn't. I had to I was just fast forwarding.
Well, it's so much of this show was twisting things on its head. And so often, I mean, that's a creative thing to do, but you're also making people not do what they're comfortable with, or not do what they. I'm sure the Osmonds would have been maybe more comfortable coming on and being introduced and then performing one of their hit songs and been in their 1970s clothing and everything versus this. I don't know.
Come
I
on,
do
weren't
know
they on
that
the Andy Williams show? They were used to this shtick.
Well, didn't they have a variety show? Or I guess maybe that was just Donnie and Marie. They were used to doing variety sketches.
Oh yeah. But this is, of course, before that, right? So I mean, because Donnie Marie's show didn't start until 76, 77, so it was quite late to the game. And this is 1971, I believe.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to point out in this is that I always think it's interesting. I think this whole thing is hugely interesting, just from the point of view of somebody looking at it and going, hey, why did they do this? And what were they trying to accomplish here? And what was this skit with Jack and Bob Hope poured so many elements into it that you're like, okay, if they poured a few, like just Bob doing Jack and Jack doing Bob, that's enough right there. Just have them like do their normal selves. Could be interesting and could be a spectacular failure. Who knows? But that's a worthwhile thing to try. But then when you layer on, oh, we're going to do that whole thing of them trying to be cool when they're not cool because they're really old men. Okay, that's another layer. Then, oh, let's, instead of having it be hip where they're acting like they're hippies at college today, let's go back and have them be from the 1920s. Then you're laying that over the top of it. There's so many elements in here that it's too much, and it just gets to be where you're going, what are they trying to do here? I'm lost.
You're right. It's kind of comedy by committee. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it feels like maybe 4 different writers were all heading in different directions. They said, let's just throw it all together in a blender.
There you go. And the old story of Bob would stand at the top of a staircase with their checks and drop them down, and the 4 writers would have to be at the bottom.
It would be interesting to see if on the next special, if he had all different writers and he did on this one.
Oh, I bet.
I don't know. I don't know historically what was this.
These writers had been with, except for Tolkien and Lockman, the others had been with Bob Hope forever.
Yeah.
So I'd be surprised if they were gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Well, there's always that story, and that's interesting to hear that they were with him forever, because there's always that story that his churning of writers constantly was this huge.
Well, certainly in the television era, maybe before, I don't know, but some of these guys had been with him even before the specials.
He didn't do television every week, so you can,
That's right.
there's the pressure is off. You write him a skit to go overseas to a USO trip versus when he was on the radio every week. You can build in a lot of churn.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something about the Henry Kissinger in China sketch. If that had been the only thing that we were talking about, I as I normally do when I watch these things, I was taking notes to be able to say what the historical references were. First of all, there were so many of them. I think that would have been a challenge. But there were things about this that apart from the historical stuff, that I found interesting. It was great to see Jerry Colonna in the Pedro, the Senor Wences character. And I'm not certain, but I think the guy in the in the picture frame who was who when Bob answers the telephone and it's he hands the phone to this other guy. I'm not certain, but it looked like Key Luke. Um, and and I also think that because the character's name, the person they asked for, is J. Edgar Puying, and Key Luke's real name was Ju Ping. So maybe they were having some fun with this. I'm not really sure. But we talked about before how there were, you know, Debbie Reynolds playing Chinese characters and uh, Joanna Cameron playing the Indian in the John Wayne sketch. I I think Key Luke must have been the only prominent Asian actor playing an Asian character in this entire show, if that was him.
Yeah.
Well, they had obviously taped this thing before, so none of it, other than maybe he had a live audience there for his monologue. So you could hire somebody for the day to do that skit. So sure.
Yeah.
And I also thought the gag at the end, everybody, all the furniture, people hidden in the furniture, getting up and leaving. I mean, it was unexpected to me, and I thought it was fun. It was okay. It's not the height of witticism, but I just it made me laugh.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting how you guys, this is a joke we set up ahead of time, of course, that Bob and Jack were trading roles in this, and of course, in this, in our performance here, it was John and Terry switching roles from their usual. Terry just tearing things apart, and John going, "I loved it. It was fantastic." So this is a very unique switch. I really enjoyed it. You guys' performance was fantastic. So now we got people on the audience going, what was this? Was it performance art? What was going on? Anyway, I hope folks enjoyed this episode as much as Terry did, and that I think it's interesting, if nothing else. I love a frustration I have is when people say, "Oh, I get this all the time over on Star Trek," as I'm a big fan of Strange New Worlds. And people will say they'll come up with a weird episode. Like this week was a very weird episode, very 1960s throwback, right? Spoof sort of thing of the original series, maybe a little bit. And folks are like, "Oh, I watched 3 minutes of that and turned it off. And this show sucks because of X, Y, Z and the next thing." And I'm like, okay, all I need to read is I watched 3 minutes of this and turned it off, and now I don't need to read whatever else you have to say because you didn't experience the episode, right? So I think it's important to watch these things and watch the whole thing. And for us, it's like you can't really have an opinion on it unless you watch it. And if you watch it, and we've watched like this, we watched it once. If I sat down with it now with Terry's insights, I bet I would get a different feel for it. In fact, I think I'm going to watch it again this week just to see.
So shame on you, Kathy, for skipping the Osmonds.
Yeah, well, no, that was one little section. That's okay. I mean, that's not. But it's when you're not even, like I say, shut it off after 3 or 4 minutes in. It's like no, but no, and I will say this. I think I watched the Osmond skit maybe halfway, but I think I might have been on my phone too, and so I don't even remember the skit worth beans either. So there you go.
But hey, how about that Les Brown and his band of renown?
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, anything else anyone has to throw out there before we go? We're good? All right.
I think we've done it.
A unique one for sure. Enjoy this one. It was a great conversation, folks, and we'll see everybody next time.